Alright, welcome to another episode of Minecraft Feed the Beast with me, the average gamer guy. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of bee automation. So the first thing we're going to do is, even though my gene pool has an internal storage, I'm going to put a hopper on top of it because. That's it. Just because. Then we're going to take some pipes and route them. And basically, because I'm using the Buildcraft pipes that can overflow, that's why I'm adding just those extra 4 little slots, since it's potential that I could get a whole bunch of different kinds of bees all at once. And I would prefer not to lose them. So then we're going to come to right here, where we're going to have an apiarist's pipe. That way, what we can do is then connect this direction, which goes up to some iron pipes that make sure it flows straight up into the hopper for our honeycomb. And I think what we will probably end up doing is that for items. And what we're going to do is go ahead and pull all of that stuff out of there. Break that. Put that there. Stick that on top. Put back in the items. Come over here. Do all of that stuff back in there. And then we're going to come down here to the apiarist pipe. Alright, so white should be items. Red should be drones. And green is going to be... does it have a honeycomb? It does not. So, let's see. Huh. Just trying to think. I guess I could use... yeah, I guess I'm going to have to rethink this briefly. In that green is going to be items and red is going to be drones. Green is going to be anything. Because drones have a place to go, so they will. And anything else is going to come over here, where we will have a diamond transport. Yep, that's still set. And then the diamond transport is going to have... I only have 2 combs being made right now. So this will work for now. They're going to go down green. And then everything else will go up to that. Pretty sure that's how that works. And then a wooden... ah. reformat that slightly. Like that. And then we just need an autarkic gate, which of course is not in our system. So let me go ahead and throw all of those back, and my dirt can go back. Alright, let me go grab a gate so that it can pulse. I think we're just going to have a regular autarkic. Just set to pulse all the time. So, redstone signal off, pulse. And let's see what happens. Drones come out, drones go over here, where they get immediately dropped down, and then we will quickly just have a huge backlog, I'm sure. Because there's so many bees in there. So those will quickly start to pop out. But did we get the rest of it? Uh-oh. Oh, looks like our combs are over... No? Oh. Oh no. There we go. Whew. Combs were freaking out. Sort of like these bees are. Holy cow. Okay. I have to get this under control. I'll be back. Alright, so first things first, we've got an APRS machine, a diamond, 6 chests, and some redstone to get an indexer. Now, I believe that I'm going to be crashing my game soon. Because that's apparently how this sort of works. So for now, let's stick that one there. And we'll stick this one there. Oh, that fits in nicely. I like that. I like that graphic. Huh, good texture. These fit in nicely too. I like how they kind of join together. Alright, so the way the indexer works is you put some bees in. There you go. Now, that might crash the game. It didn't. Okay. The cool thing about the indexer is you can sort it by different things. You can also put as many bees as you want into it, which is very nice. Very, very nice. Just keep filling it up. It doesn't have a limit. I have 2 just because there are a couple different areas, and I'm not entirely certain where I want them yet or what I want to do. So let's put all those in there. This thing is good. How much is in there? 0 is in the iron tank. Holy cow. What consumed all of our... liquid DNA? Wow. It's impressive that we just threw all that in there and it's already gone. Let me investigate this real quick. Okay. You're being sequenced. Okay. You should soon be transported into here. Yes? No? Maybe? No? Not gonna get transported? That's empty. It's got nowhere else to go. It must be in these things, I guess? What if I just tell that not to pulse anymore? I mean, I'm assuming that it's pulsing through and filling up that tube. That's what I'm assuming. Okay, that's gone. But that doesn't have any. Well, wait a minute here. Let's just watch this thing the whole time. Okay, so it's definitely going somewhere. Maybe there's just not enough in there for it to register, I bet. Let's see, if we take a couple of those, yeah, a couple common are fine. What are you guys? That's actually unweary. Let me come over here. Let's grab some, what? Guess some rocky drones, maybe? I think we've got a lot of rocky drones, so... And if we just add all of these guys in there, maybe that'll get it going. Anyway, okay, so the reason I ended up stopping that is because I do want the Industrious and the Imperial to go ahead and get pulled out of this. I can sort by species. Mostly because I want to run the Industrial and the Imperial. As long as they're pure. And we'll have to see on some of those. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to sort out and make sure I have some Industrial and some Imperial pure drones. I'm going to get some Unweary pure drones, some Diligent pure drones. Basically, before I go ahead and just gene pool all of them, I want to make sure I have good specimens of them. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'll be back. Alright, so we've got a lot of this stuff sort of sorted out. And all I need to do now is I want to be able to put a diamond pipe right here so that from the centrifuge I can pump out and separate honey to come up to this guy, you know, come over here to this guy so that he can start to deal with honey. So what we need to do is transfer all these items to there. So I'm just going to do this. Because I don't want to pick them all up. So, oh, that's kind of a neat looking thing. I like when the string comes out, it looks like it's connected from that angle. Huh. That's kind of neat. Alright, so there's that. Now, we're slowly starting to work on getting this thing going, and it was just that there was not enough DNA for it to render. You can see it is now rendering, and it actually is showing as buckets of liquid. Alright, my bright idea that I was all proud of is taking too long. Why was that not what I wanted to do? I just dumped all of that into my ender pouch. See, that's what you do. You get excited about something, and then you get your dreams crushed. That's the moral of the story. You get your dreams crushed. My question is, what can I do with honeydew? I can make glistening melons. I can make ambrosia. I can make a blank template of something that I don't understand. Good to know. Can make a dissipation charge, crafted honeydew. I can squeeze... Oh, honeydew squeezes down into honey. 0.1. Well, how much does honey? Who knows? I don't have any honey. Really? No honey, huh? Have they produced any? Well, what am I doing? If I just right-click on honey drop, a honey crystal. Interesting. Is that just an energy drop and a honey drop? Weird. Carpenter would make iodine capsules. And, oh, okay, so they squeeze down for the same amount. Honeydew and honey. Good to know. Alright, all that stuff should be through my sorting system. Let me go grab all that and deal with this, and then I'll be back. Alright, so one of the things I want to do is I pulled out a couple of bees from this bee indexer of random bees to try, and they have some things that I want. Either the nocturnal, which would be nice to turn into a serum, or the fact that that has a temperature and a humidity tolerance. That's got a temperature and a humidity tolerance, a temperature tolerance, humidity tolerance. So it would be nice to isolate that, some of those features. And I guess it's kind of a crapshoot which one you get. Like, I really didn't think the bee went away. Like, so that you could just say, like, well, eventually I'm going to get that, although I'm going to get a bunch of other stuff in between. But yeah, it kind of sucks if it goes away, because, man, that makes it a really... Out of all the things it can get, you have to get the one thing you want off that bee. That's rough. And we got the common species serum. Well, that is not going to do it. This one, we're going to hope to get... you know what? We're just going to throw these guys in there, and we'll come back and see what we get. Alright, so we'll see what that is. I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so we threw all those bees into our isolator, and we did get some interesting serums. We got a bunch that don't matter. Like, I don't really need to turn something into a Rocky. I don't really need to turn something into a Diligent. The no humidity tolerance, that's not helpful. Common, no humidity. But I did get 2 rainfall serums, which will let them work in the rain, turns them into flyers. I got a shortest lifespan, also pretty cool and handy. And I got the effect cancellation serum, also really handy. So, what do you do with those now that we have them? Well, you take that to the synthesizer. Yeah, you take it to the synthesizer, and you take the one that you want it to be, and you pop it in there, and it starts to use power. And it's going to start to use liquid DNA. And what it's going to do is it's going to slowly start to synthesize that serum, and it's going to start to add charges to it. Right now you can see it's empty, and it'll take a while. You can see that DNA is starting to solidify in the little toolbar, and there, we've got 1 charge. So it's going to continue to do this until it has 16 charges. So after it's done with that, we'll move to the next step. In the meantime, what I have done is I've gone ahead and figured out this sorting system. So it pulls from the chest, and it comes to an apiarist pipe, where I'm sending bees or drones down the red, and anything else down green. So drones go that way to get liquefied. Everything else goes this way, which is directly into a pipe that is letting the 2 combs that I'm currently producing over here go down here to my centrifuge. Everything else is going to come here, which for now is just royal jelly. And then these come over here, right up to my centrifuge hopper, so they can go down to my centrifuge. As soon as they're centrifuged, they are pumped out into a diamond pipe that sends the honey and the honeydew up, and everything else to this chest. The honey and the honeydew go up and over to this gold chest buffer, where they get stored. And then when my squeezer has room, it will send a pulse down the red pipe wire to the autarkic iron andgate so that it can pulse some honey or honeydew down here. Now, at some point, I will probably put a little guy in the middle of this pipeline to identify the bees. Probably I'll just have this come up and pump into there, and then pump him out and over to the hopper. And that way they'll identify the bee and I'll get more DNA out of it. I was just going to make sure that I have a fairly decent surplus of honey and honeydew before I start to do that so that I don't use it all up. I ran out of pollen. So, yeah. We're going to let that keep cooking. I need some more industrious bees. So I may swap some of these guys out. What do we got running here? An Imperial, an Industrious, so 1 and 1, a Noble, ooh, 1 and 2, 2 and 2, an Unweary. So actually 2 and 3, I actually have, I do need some frames in all of these, though. That would help things along. But I think I'm going to try and throw some more Imperial Industrious in there if I've got the Queens. I don't know that I have the Princesses for it, though. I have drones for Imperial Industrious, right? Well, yeah, I have drones for Imperial and Industrious. And I stuck some somewhere. Oh, I think they're in here. Yeah. I have a lot of drones, but I don't have any other princesses. So what I might need to do is just continue to try and mutate these guys over here. So I might try and do that just to get more to speed this whole process up. But anyway, I'll be back when we're moving on to the next thing. Alright, one quick thing to note, still on the bees. So I have all these serums that I don't really want or care about, like Rocky Species Serum. So if I put those in a furnace, it just bakes out the essence and I get the empty vial back. So that is important to know so that you can go ahead and recycle the stuff you get that you don't want. That becomes a fairly important thing, as you can imagine, unless you just want to build a ton of serum vials. But I don't really want to do that. Alright, this thing has 16 charges, but it's awful quality. So if you use it, that means I can use it 16 times. But if you do, and it's awful quality, it'll screw the bee up, and it will make it disappear after a while. So if you put a princess in, that princess and the queen that results and all the queens that result will have a limited time, and then eventually they will just disappear, which sort of sucks. So if it's bad quality, you purify it. And again, yet another machine they use quite a bit of power. 100 Minecraft joules per tick is the max it can take. And it doesn't work too slowly, but it's going to take it from awful... Oh, it actually has to work more than once to raise it. That's always good. Anyway, it eventually will raise it up to excellent if you just leave it in there. Now, we also want to get the shortest lifespan. So now we're starting to really pull some energy here. Like we've got somewhere I put in, I think over here. No. Is that why there's a hole here? Yes. So this guy totally drained. So they're going to be slowing down pretty quickly. Yeah, you can already see their internal charge, his internal charge is just plummeting. But we're up to pour, so he'll just start to really slow down his work effort. Now, if I take this out, that'll help a little, but not much. Like you can see, now he has 0, and he is halted. And as soon as he gets any, he uses it right away. And then this thing is just crawling. So that's the way it is. You need a ton of power to run those things constantly, which we don't have yet. I'm thinking about, oh my, putting another HP boiler downstairs, because there's room. But we'll find out. So let me keep messing around here, and I shall return. Alright, so we have done a couple things. One of the things I did is I noticed I was really having a significant power issue. I would occasionally go back to my AE system and it was suffering from low power, which means you can't really access it. Like, it keeps flashing and you can't really grab it. So what I did was I flipped it over from my MJ production to my EU production, and it seems to be powered right back up and working just fine. Because with EU, of course, most of my machines are running off of the MSUs, so no big deal. I also deactivated my MFR stuff over here, just ripped out the blocks, because of course the power lines and everything are also feeding all of the things over here. Because it's not very efficient the way I was using it. I've done some further testing, and you may or may not have seen the video I made about the tree harvesters, and that applies as well to everything. And it just wasn't, I sort of put it over here at the beginning to sort of have something, and then just never really worked on it very much or put much effort into it. So I'll be coming back to that probably in a while, but for now that's just going to sit there. But then I also did not fall down that hole. I'm going to turn my magnet... Oh, it's off. Okay. I figured out you can put liquid ducts on the front of these things because the router just didn't get it done. It was too confused. There's too many things. It's trying to fill this slot and that slot and this slot and this slot. Everything but this slot it's trying to stick wheat in. So what I did instead was Buildcraft pipes are much better with fermenters because they're just smart. It knows where they're supposed to go, and that's where it goes. So those are now being fed by Buildcraft pipes with... Let me hop over there. Just a messy tangle of stuff. Buildcraft pipes, which are being fed, of course, with the same autarkic setup with the pipe wire, requesting more. And it's starting to work its way through this. It just needs to keep going. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to help this out next episode. I'm going to build a compressor and start compressing that wheat down to compressed plants, and then feeding that into a fermenter and running that down into stills as well. You can see this still is just now starting to fill up. So I think I'm probably going to need some more stills eventually, especially if I add the other compressor up there. I've also got this tree farm over here, and it's producing all these apples. Well, not a bunch of apples, but it's producing apples. And I think I might start converting the apples into apple juice to run the fermenter up top, which I'm going to be compressing because I'll get more out of that. But that's all for next time. But what I did do is, because I was having all that issue, which is why I did all that stuff, I also built 7 redstone energy cells, and there's now one under each of those. There's one there. There's a couple more over here. There's a couple more down in my power generation room. I really wanted to spread that out so that as my system had increased draw, I would have a buffer that it's drawing from rather than just eating through everything. I also added another 2.5 rows of magmatic engines, so that will help as well. So I really just, off camera, used all the same things I've already used to beef out my power system, basically. And then the other thing I need to do is I probably need to actually take out a red cell here and put it over there on that line, which runs to my assembly table, because that is a power hog. So I probably definitely need to do that, and I just haven't. But anyway, I might do that off camera in between this episode and next episode, but that is going to do it for this episode. We're getting... lots of different things are starting to sort of come together. We're just not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. So, I am the Average Gamer Guy. Have a nice day.